Merry Christmas to all of you. I have had such an insane past couple of days on stream. If you know, you know. Please consider joining the streams, JDX Coffee over on Twitch, or you can do it right here on YouTube because I am doing dual streaming, so you can stick around here. It has been quite an adventure. But today I want to talk about, I get asked quite a bit actually because of what I do. I play video games and am talking about video games about my kids. They go, hey, do your kids play video games? They must play so much. And, well, kind of. See, my daughter, when she first started showing interest in playing video games, I took that as like, oh my gosh, I'm going to share this with her. It was kind of like a point of pride. I really, really liked the idea of sharing video games with my daughter. I really liked the idea of being to my daughter as my father was to me, showing off the, wonderful world of video games. But I started to notice an interesting behavioral shift in my kid when I would have her play video games. She'd get a little bit more irritable when I asked her to stop and turn into a little bit of I wouldn't say a monster, but certainly wasn't the most pleasant child after. And I was like, this is really weird. And, I'm like, well, maybe limiting the amount would be kind of a way to combat this behavior. And so that's exactly what I did. But it got me thinking more about video games as a whole and how I've shown my daughter, and then eventually when my son shows interest, I will do the same for him, video games, and really what it's granted me access to as a parent and a husband who decided that video games are going to be not just my career, but also my pastime. You see, with my kid, having her experience games like Super Mario Wonder, one of her first games, as well as her first ever game was actually Super Mario World on a Game Boy Advance cartridge on my Game Boy Advance. One thing that was so special about those specific things is, one, the Game Boy Advance was gifted to me by Morgan, a huge friend of the channel, massive, awesome gift. And then Super Mario World on Game Boy Advance, the cartridge itself was gifted to me by one of my best friends, Chase. And that was also cool that I was able to share these moments with my daughter through the generosity of this community, which was a very special thing I got to do. Now, that is one really cool thing. The big thing was I got to see kind of how gaming was seen through her eyes. The challenges that were there, not understanding how to play the game, and then eventually playing the games themselves and understanding like, okay, so I'm supposed to jump here. This enemy is going to do this. Yoshi's helpful in this regard. And then now she's fully completed the game Yoshi's Crafted World on the Nintendo Switch. She loves that game, and she plays Mario Kart from time to time. But what's so fascinating about watching my daughter play video games versus my experience with video games, which has been very similar, is just the bliss that exists in that moment. But not just that, the really awesome shared experience that I get to have with my kid. And part of the reason why for me portable gaming has become such a huge thing is because of the access it grants me to gaming in an environment that is flexible, right? So at the end of the day, I like to relax and play Balatro, a couple rounds of Balatro. Shout out to Ace, huge fan. He gifted me that game, and it's become a staple in my personality almost. But I like to play Balatro, and my daughter knows that I like to play Balatro because she goes, Dad, are you going to play the card game tonight? And I said, yeah, I'm going to play the card game tonight. And she goes, okay, I want to watch you play the card game. And I get to sit on the couch, and she gets to cuddle up next to me, and I get to play that card game while she is watching. And I explained to her a little bit about what's going on, and she doesn't really quite get it, but she likes when there's a combo breaker on there that creates a little fire over the numbers. She goes, Dad, can you get the fire to work? And I was like, yeah, I just need to, get the right cards, this, that, and the other. But what's so special about that is it's just a shared experience I get to have with my daughter. Now, not a shared experience as if she's doing it too, but just like time. And time is the commodity here that people have talked about before, but it's the one commodity that you can't create any of, and you can't get any back. Once you expend the time, that almost went in. Okay, what are we at? 4, smoke. Once you spend your time, then it's gone. And so when it comes to gaming, I've been asked before with my children. They go, well, not with my children, about my children. Do they play video games? And at first, I was like, yeah, I was a lot of pride in that, but I was like, when playing video games, this is passing time, and that time that's passing is that time that I'm willing to allow to be spent. And the answer to that question is yes. Like, I don't mind. This isn't an attack on video games, but it's rather the intentionality behind it, and why I believe that portable gaming, I know this is a roundabout way of getting to this, but why I believe that portable gaming is so much more important than originally I anticipated is that though we do not get time back, we do not get our expended time. Days do not get back. Months don't get back. Nothing, it is spent. What portable gaming allows for is it allows for time to be split. This is almost that. It's a cheat. It's a hack. Now, I'm about to taste this coffee. This is got a lot of things going against it. Okay. Number one is this is a white label store-bought coffee. Already bad. So not bad. Already challenging. I'm not gonna talk trash on Trader Joe's. This is Trader Joe's coffee. Second thing against it, it has an expiration date. Though coffee does expire, a coffee expiring a year past when it was roasted is pretty crazy. Last, it has a USDA certified organic sticker, which almost always means that the focus wasn't on the quality, but rather on certifications. And lastly, it is from a very challenging area. This is a coffee from Mexico. Mexico historically doesn't produce coffee like this. And the reason is not because Mexico doesn't have the crop, but because when it comes to coffee, there's a specific type of specific type of climate that is really, really good. Tropical climates for this, not just tropical, but a specific altitude, moisture, humidity. So maybe not tropical. I more mean like moisture, humidity, all that stuff. And Mexico is not known for that. And so there are a lot of things that are incongruents that are making me very, very, I don't know. I don't know how this is going to go. Also, it's advertised as 100% Arabica. 99% of coffee is Arabica. Robusta is the other version of coffee that exists, and usually that's used in coffees that are instant, like instant coffee, because it's not a good crop. So, like, there are a lot of buzzwords on this, which lead me down a path of going, well, what is the quality going to be? So let's taste this. Now, I have had extremely delicious coffees from Mexico, but when advertised the way that it is, I'm very, very, I'm being cautious. So let's taste it. Out the gates, the AeroPress did its magic. Shout out to AeroPress. Delicious. This is interesting. This really is interesting. I'm going to go one step further. I'm going to give it a slurp test. I'm going to go all the way down to the slurp test. Let's see. It is uninteresting, but it is good, which is a lot better than I was anticipating. This coffee is uninteresting, but it's good. It's actually pretty well made. Well, not well made. Well taken care of. Now, what am I doing here? This is my cupping spoon, my official cupping spoon. It's beautiful because it has this black, texture to it. It's so cool. Cupping is when you slurp extremely aggressively and spray your whole mouth with the flavor, and then you're able to get a more, I guess, a better taste overall for the flavor. You usually wouldn't do it for a brewed coffee because brewed coffee doesn't have as much body. You'd use it for a cupped coffee, which I might do. I will be doing cuppings live on stream. But this isn't so terrible. I wasn't expecting it to be bad. I just wasn't expecting it to be good. This is good. Uninteresting, but actually good. Wow. Portable gaming. The cheat code that is portable gaming is not that gaming as a whole is better portable, because, I mean, obviously playing a game on like a giant PC like I have is great, but rather that gaming portably allows you to split your time. If you have people you love and care about and want to be in their presence, but they're reading a book, watching a television show, when you play portably, like on a Steam Deck, a Nintendo Switch, Asus ROG Ally X, shout out to the ROG Ally X, wish I would have got it. You're playing on a device that genuinely allows you to be in the same location of someone that you care about. Not just that, maybe you want to share gaming with them and they have another device. Like, you are able to move locations. And I think this is becoming like ever more valuable. I don't know if that's a real term, but it's even more increasingly valuable to us, family men, husbands, whatever you want to call yourself. Because we are now able to maintain a hobby with a very busy lifestyle, whether it's going out to work, staying home for work, whatever it may be, we're able to maintain this hobby, but also be able to maintain life and a good balance. When games have become more and more demanding of our time, bigger games, longer stories, or even more skill needed so you play more, having something like a ROG Ally X, a Steam Deck, or something that allows you to change your location, I believe allows for an element of almost like you're getting your time back. And that is so massive. I think going into 2025, we're going to see this a bigger push. 2024 was kind of a transitional push. 23 being the introduction. 24, we're seeing this big interest around stuff like portable PC gaming. I mean, hearing that the next Legion product by Lenovo is going to launch with potentially launch with different OSs, or able to launch into multiple OSs, is massive. And I believe strongly that Xboxes are going to service their streaming service model. As this progresses, we are going to see a service appear, and that is going to be this Xbox OS that allows for you to flash over a more streamlined OS that is not Windows onto a device, and you're going to be able to experience that gaming a little bit more streamlined, like that SteamOS type feel. I just believe with all of my being that when it comes to PC gaming, one, that we are seeing an increase for sure. Maybe it won't overtake console, but portable PC, I believe, is going to be the transition. And if portable PC gaming is going to be lumped into PC gaming, even though it's a console-like experience, I do believe that that will be the unlock for gaming in the next few years. Not because portable PCs are so desirable in their form factor, but rather portable PCs allow for one very specific thing, and that is moving around. Sure, you're playing on a smaller screen. Yes, the performance is lower than a PC, and in some cases lower than some of the consoles available to you right now. Yes, it isn't the most user-friendly experience in some regards, but the access that you have with these devices is exceptional when it comes to the location. And I am such a huge fan and such a huge advocate for flexible location gaming, not because it's nice to be able to play Gears of War sitting at a coffee shop, because I don't get to do that often, but rather it's nice to be able to sit next to my family, and while they're enjoying their activity, I get to enjoy my activity. And I don't feel like I am casting them aside and leaving my, family to do this thing. It's such a respectful way to play, I believe. And this introduction happened in 2017 when the Nintendo Switch launched, right? Not saying that handhelds weren't always a thing, but the Nintendo Switch gave you the hybrid style gaming that we wanted, a more powerful version of a DS or whatever. And then now with the Steam Deck being basically a PS4 and the Asus ROG Ally X being in some ways a PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X at times, we're getting a gaming experience that truly is magical. And the magic isn't in the performance. I've said this multiple times. The magic is in how you're able to get that performance anywhere. The fact that you can sit on a couch, go to a coffee shop, sit in your gaming office, use a dock, whatever it may be. This kind of flexibility is unbelievable. And I believe going into these next couple of years of gaming, this is certainly a very, very accessible way to game. And as someone who has a career, a family, a spouse, whatever it may be, if you're like, I just don't know how I'm going to be able to play video games anymore. I mean, we do have the Switch 2 coming out, so obviously that's something to look into. But if you're like, I just don't know how I'm going to be able to get those moments in. Well, I mean, the barrier of entry is a little bit high, a few $100, but getting into gaming casually on a portable PC, for me, I'm so blown away. We've been talking about it on chat. People have been like, dude, the Steam Deck saved my gaming. The Asus ROG Ally X saved my gaming, or I'm wowed by this way to play. This is incredible. My consoles have become obsolete because this, X, Y, and Z. This, for me, has been such a delightful time to experience gaming because gaming as a whole is in a weird spot. We're seeing AAA titles released that just flop and flounder. We're seeing AA releases that are incredible. Single A, even indie games that are just blowing the minds and blowing the pants off of all of the people playing them. And those games are very usable on stuff like Steam Deck and ROG Ally X or whatever it may be. I mean, one of the greatest games I played this year was a AA title, Black Myth Wukong, at least technically a AA title. But the Asus ROG Ally X is able to run it. The Steam Deck, if you really tweak it about, is able to run it. Path of Exile, all of these things are able to be run. And the thing that is so special about this whole thing is that you're able to do it anywhere. When the industry's AAA titles are bombing and the required hardware to play these games is no longer necessary, and the games that are crushing it are AA and indie, why not explore that flexible location gaming that is absolutely phenomenal? And hey, shout out to whatever company wants to partner with me on this. I'm not affiliated, but Steam, you want to say what's up? What's up, Asus? I hope that your business practices when it comes to your return policy changes, because the return policies, and I may be shooting myself on the foot here. I'd love to test your products, but just be better at your return policy. I'm so blown away by this, and I've talked about it so many times. I sound like a broken record, obviously, but it's because of my family. This wouldn't be so special if it wasn't for the fact that I am getting minutes back, or so it would seem. I'm not actually getting time back because time doesn't come back to you. But what I am doing is I'm able to split my time, enjoy my games while enjoying quality time with my family. And this is something that, I mean, I dreamt of. I mean, how many of you guys who are around the same age as me were like playing games like on the GameCube, N64, PS1, whatever, and we're like, man, I can't even imagine a day where I could do this anywhere I want. PSP launches, you're like, holy crap, this is crazy. Like that feeling. I know that as a kid, the thought of playing N64 games on the go was like unfathomable. If I could do this would be insane. And then, when the 3DS launched those games, those N64 games, like Ocarina of Time, I was older and I was like, this is exactly what I wanted when I was a kid. It was so amazing. The Switch landed on that. The idea of being able to play titles that otherwise you'd be strapped to your desk or sitting on your couch, but you can play them anywhere with headphones is so incredible. It's so incredible. The magic in gaming used to be in the game itself. Unfortunately, that seems to have been a little bit lost in translation because of the way that money's being thrown around. But I believe in the next couple of years, the magic in gaming is not going to be necessarily the specifics of games released, because we are getting to a game release cycle that is unrealistically long, but rather the experience of the game in the ways you play it. And this is extremely exciting because with the optimization that's existing in games, the things that we're seeing with the AI, whatever you want to call it, the super resolutions, all this, that, and the other, being able to play games however you truly want with Xbox's marketing, everything's an Xbox. Like, this is an undoubtable future that I believe is going to be spectacular, not because it is a money-making machine, but rather because it really allows you to make decisions for yourself. And so, I mean, the last thing I'll land on is if I could do it all over again and purchase the Steam Deck or the ROG Ally X, I say the Steam Deck is the best entry-level portable PC out there, and everyone who's interested should start there. But now that I'm more experienced with it and I'm realizing the games I'm playing are a little bit more demanding, I would go Ally X. I think the Ally X is probably the best portable handheld right now, just because of what it can do. But the Steam Deck is what I cut my teeth on. And if I had to start over, I would still go Steam Deck any day of the week. With the experience I have now and the understanding of the industry and their trajectory, as well as the understanding of how these products work, I believe that I have gained the experience enough to enjoy something like the Ally X and the flexibility that's there. Although, the OLED display of the Steam Deck is the console seller. Let me know what you guys think. Please join the live streams. They are indescribable. Become a part of the Brew crew. But you got to be on live streams to do that. Enjoy your Christmas. Hug someone you love for just too long. Give someone a kiss on the forehead. And yeah, I'll see you guys in a couple days. All right. Have a good one. Play more. Be kind. See ya.